365 HR and how to make them available in the CDS. In my opinion, this feature is something that opens up Dynamics 365 HR to a whole new set of possibilities and features and additional applications. So, although I'm not going to do it right now because the documentation is pretty self-explanatory, I am going to actually show you what the final output is. My name is Nico Aleman. I'm a managing partner in ASG. My blog, if you want to verify it, is https://talent.asgcrm.com, or you can visit our website on asgcrm.com and you can find those details. So let's start. The first thing is on docs.microsoft.com. On the 5th of October 2020, so not too long ago, Microsoft has released this feature, which is part of the Wave 2 of Dynamics 365 HR on 2020. What is very important is to understand that this is a public preview and you can try it in a sandbox or a trial environment. It is not yet available in the production environment. Okay, so this is something you need to understand right now as we speak. I'm doing this training on the 22nd of October. Then I advise you to really go through all the documentation. If you respect the step-by-step, the process will be straightforward, no errors, and everything will work just fine. So the first thing you need to do is first go into your Dynamics 365 HR, system administration, and then of course feature management. In the feature management area, you will find your entities, especially this new one, virtual entity support in CDS. Enable it. Yeah, make sure it's enabled, and then you will be able to continue the process. The next step you need to take is to go in Power Apps. So you should go in the admin center, admin.powerplatform.com, go to Analytics. In here, you should go to Resources, Dynamics 365 Apps, look for your virtual entity. So for this solution, which is called Dynamics 365 HR Virtual Entity, click Install, select your environment, one of these environments, and then click Install and it will be installed. If you check your environment afterwards, so I installed it in our environment 6.0, Talent Dev, you should find the solution installed by clicking on the resources, and then you'll find the solution installed in here, successfully installed. So that's what you have to do for the moment in CDS or in the Power Platform. The next thing you need to do, and Microsoft is telling you to do, is to go and register the app in Microsoft Azure. This is a pretty straightforward step, but you need those IDs to be correctly entered in the system, and the codes, the secret code that it's created, you need to keep them separate in a separate environment. Then the next thing you need to do, in here is, after installing the virtual entity, is to configure the virtual entity data source. So this is really easy to do again, in my opinion. You just need to go in the Power Apps. In the Power Apps, look for the Solution Health Hub. In the Solution Health Hub, click play or just execute it. And I'm using my sandbox for our solution for recruitment, for Zoom recruitment. And then in here, do an advanced search. Click on this one, advanced find, and look for this entity. This entity is called Finance and Operations Virtual Data Source Configuration. Hit results, and you should get this record, Microsoft HR Data Source. So in here, the first step is to enter the data. So this will be the overall link. Then the tenant ID, the application ID. The tenant ID, by the way, is the Azure tenant ID, so nothing else. Then you'll have the application secret, the resource, the API management, and everything else. You will have to fill them in correctly. This is the only thing you need to do in here. No saving. You can save it, of course, but that's all you have to do. The other thing, the other step, or the next step, is to go in the application, look for Azure Active Directory applications, and enter these two records. The first one is the client ID of the application you recorded in Azure. So this is the one that you recorded in Azure. The second one is the one that it's saying in the docs. So this one will always be the same, and it is the one that it's on the documentation. So if you read the documentation thoroughly, you will see in here that this is the ID, the client ID, and the name you need to enter. Yeah? There's no other ID for the second line, for the second record in there. And then if you have done everything here, you can generate your virtual entities. So generating the virtual entities, once you have done this, you can go in the Common Data Service configuration, and you should see this tab, Virtual Entities. Once you click it, you will see this button enabled. If you don't see this button enabled by default, or turned yes by default, then you have an error, and you should probably contact Microsoft support to solve this error. But you should see this enabled automatically. You don't have the possibility to click yes or no. This is defaulted to yes. Now, as you can see, I already generated two entities, but what I will do, I will generate another one. This means I will send those entities to CDS. How I did it? Well, I entered in here. I looked for skills because this is something that I really missed, or maybe I want the goals. Okay. Or maybe I want the performance reviews, which are missing. Okay, and I have performance reviews, performance period. I can tick all of these and click generate, refresh, and now the process will start. Please be careful, or please remember that this process will take a while, so you will spend a couple of minutes. It shouldn't take days, but a couple of minutes to generate your virtual entities. Now, your virtual entities has been sent to updates, and then the next step is to verify the status of these entities, if they have been generated and sent to CDS. You can do that by going on the process automation page. So just type in here process automation, and in the process automation you will have the background processes. So this will be the background processes. Hit virtual entity pulse async and view the most recent results. Now, because I have already synced two of those earlier today, the third one is in process. I am able to see some entities already synced with the data. If I go in Power Apps and I'm looking for the data, earlier today I synced the skills, so we will not wait for the performance reviews to be synced. We will look for them later, but I want to look for the skills. Make sure the first thing you are on the entities, then you are on all, not on the default, and then in here let's look for skill. And all of a sudden I have my custom entities that I created a long time ago, and then I have these new entities that have been created today. These are virtual entities. And you can see these with this prefix MSHR, MSHR skill entity. I wanted to verify if this has the correct data. So what I did, I clicked on it, and I also went in my employee development module and in here links, and I wanted to see the skills, and I see all the skills that I have entered in here. Now some of them are wrong, as you can see here, but I want to see if this is actually wrong in the other part, in CDS entities. So I'm going back into the CDS. Okay, and I selected my entity and I click data, and in the data here there are all the skills that I have entered in Dynamics 365 HR. And to be sure that I'm seeing the correct one, this one with the error, it's just the last one that we can see. All right, so all the values, all the records that we have on the skills area have been synced with this virtual entity. Remember, virtual entities are something specific to CDS, to Dynamics 365 CRM a couple of months ago, a couple of years ago, but to CDS, the virtual entities have create, read, update, delete rights, but they cannot be used in integration processes. They cannot be used in other advanced, in web services or in other advanced scenarios. But you can still use them to create or to add a record, to edit the record, to delete it, or to create some very nice model-driven apps application and use these values that are in HR. And of course, populate back HR. Yeah. In the meantime, we can still wait and see the messages. The virtual entity generation request has been completed. So if I have done a good job, then I should be able to find my performance development, performance reviews entities created. And here they are in here. And of course, we can see all the reviews that have taken place so far. Yeah, I can modify this. I can amend the view. I can add new fields to it, average score, discussion, end date, if it's with the workflow or not, the ratings, the review type, and everything. Just remember to save, publish, and then this view will be available also for you and for further interrogation. But here, this is the good thing about CDS, you can actually see the data directly in here. All right, so this is, it made me very enthusiastic about this. I really like what I saw. I think that this opens up a lot of scenarios. If you need my help with setting them up, just let me know. You have my my contact details again on my website. So if you hit talent.asgcrm.com, you will find my contact details, and I'll be more than happy to help. You can also find me on LinkedIn, and then we can discuss a bit more about how to set it up and what scenarios are applicable in this situation. As a final recommendation, just read very carefully, do them step by step. Make sure you enabled the virtual entities feature in Dynamics HR. But the most important, read the documentation. I will also put it on my blog, and it will be very, very useful in setting these up. Remember, only on sandboxes and on trial environments.